breaking up with perfectionism is the start of authenticity. The topic of the day for this Off the Dome session will be on perfectionism. When I look back, I would say that one of the roots that have led to like my anxiety over the years, stemming from like when I was in like middle school, was just expecting perfection from any type of work that I did, whether it be in school, whether it be in my art, whether it be also not just in my work, but in how I appear to the outer world. Looking back, and to be honest with myself, I would say that, I guess, pride myself on being a perfectionist, because if anything, it was like a protection barrier towards others witnessing that I am inherently imperfect. And for me, it has come to the point where I now see perfectionism as just a self-imposed barrier to your potential. If anything, perfectionism might be the reason you don't get shit done or you don't do the things that you do. And I had to be honest with myself, because like there's many things in the past that I've wanted to, or maybe not do, but more like I didn't allow myself to like explore because of not being great at the beginning. But like, if anything, how can you be great if you don't even allow yourself to be bad, and then to be good, and then to eventually be great? Like, you have to learn to be okay to be bad at something, because like you can't learn and master something if you don't experience. Perfectionism can trickle down into many areas of your life depending on the type of person that you are. For me, I am definitely a planner and a researcher. I like to do in-depth research before I try out anything, and like I try to create an outline of how things need to be done or how things should be done to make it as successful as possible. But the reality is that, so there's a difference between a person that plans and plans and plans, and then the other person that just does. For me, I had to be honest with myself that like, even if I don't know how something will turn out or the results of my efforts will be, these goals that I have in my mind, or these wants, or these interests that I desire to experience, will not be brought to fruition unless I do. And sometimes that do comes with being imperfect. It comes with allowing yourself to be bad, to be a beginner. And society as a whole, of course, has affected us in a way of how we might do things in terms of like what we feel is right. However, I think we give power to others way too much, and we forget that we have choice, we have will. Many things, of course, in society, in terms of the systems in place, might not make it as easy for everyone to have choice, but like in the things that we can control, especially with the relationship that we have with ourselves and how we allow ourselves to create in our world, we have choice not to listen, not to follow the rules. I think it comes to a point where you have to be honest with yourself and realize that the perfectionism is controllable. You can be aware of it, but you don't have to allow it to, you don't have to give it permission to take over. Sometimes we're so hung up on, we're held hostage by analysis paralysis, and we stop ourselves from allowing ourselves to even experience because it's an idea first, but then it's like you have to allow that idea to move through you physically by aligned action and doing. And that's what I'm telling myself, like, where I see my perfectionism lies is in my creativity and in terms of my art. And it's not really anybody's fault. It's like my fault, because I'm over here thinking that I need to be this certain type of artist. I need to do things. I need to be creative in certain ways, but it doesn't have to be like that. Just like any artist, an artist first had to pick up the paintbrush and put paint to paper. A filmmaker had to pick up a camera and just play around with the camera. A singer just had to hum to even start singing. It's like giving yourself the permission just to act is such, like, for anything. The tone of my life is just like what truly represents an act of love towards yourself. And an act of love to yourself, for me, is allowing yourself just to do, and to not even label things as good or bad. In terms of, like, as an example, art, like, it doesn't have to be good or bad. Like, the quality or the satisfaction one has when observing someone's art whether it be good or bad is subjective, and just because someone thinks your art is like trash doesn't mean you have to think it's trash. Like, your art is your art, and art is just art at the end of the day. Who you are, you can't, yes, there's things you can change about yourself, but like, there is beauty in embracing your unique filter. Like, you were made for a reason. Your unique perspectives and your touch and your taste is what is necessary in this world. Because like, even if you're a twin, like, your unique taste for anything is what adds to the diversity of this universe, and it's necessary to have a unique perspective of anything. The world would be very, very, very extremely boring if everybody just looked and thought and did things the same exact way. Like, no, like, who wants to live in a dull world? Like, no. And to like look at it more practically, for any type of like task that you want to complete, I say that you also have to set boundaries with yourself. For me, especially when I create my art, do my doodles, or even like film videos and edit videos, like right now, like I now want to be more intentional of setting a certain time interval, giving myself an amount of time to work on a task. And after that, I do my best to complete as much as I can, but more just like give myself certain boundaries, because things have to be done for them to be brought to fruition. I think like you have to set boundaries with yourself if you are a person that is prone to perfectionism, because analyzing something, overthinking something, and not even doing things will never bring your ideas to fruition, no matter what it is. So sometimes you just have to act, even if you don't even know what you're doing at the beginning. Like, you just have to do, and then as you keep going and experiencing, you learn, you build that muscle. You have to put in the reps. You have to put in the reps for anything in life. Like, if it is what you really feels like it excites you and it really feels aligned, like sometimes you have to allow yourself to not meet your ego's expectations at the beginning. Each step that you take forward is a step forward to who you aspire to embody. It is truly an act of love to allow yourself to do with no inhibition, with no restraints, because in allowing yourself to just do freely, you allow a flow in your life to put the puzzle pieces together to bring your ideas to fruition, because each step is a puzzle piece to the entire puzzle of your ideas, of your aspirations, and ultimately who you want to become. Breaking up with perfectionism is the start of authenticity. The act of breaking up with perfectionism is a new chapter to truly meeting yourself, truly meeting who it is that you are, your authenticity. Even with the messiness and the imperfections are necessary. I think it's just so beautiful that we all have a different outlook, we have different experiences, and we all have different tastes and touches, which makes the world and overall the universe so colorful and so fun. So yeah, I would say practice imperfection, because it makes things way, way, way more fun.